Hello, Fruit Force. This is Captain Fruit reporting for duty. And as a lot of you, I'm sure, have heard, there's been a little bit of a tiff between former Batman writer Tom King and Dean Cain on the Twitterverse, if you will. But I want to dive a little deeper in this and why this is an important subject. So I hope you stay and watch the video. All right, Fruit Force. This video, one of the easiest ways to read about it and find out about this is by reading into Bounding in Comics website here. It's a leading article by John F. Trent on July 4th. And, it says former Batman writer Tom King attacks Dean Cain over Superman. Once again, I know a lot of people know about this, but if you don't, I'll explain it. But I'm going to explain why this is an important thing and something really to know. And it says former Batman writer and crappy Batman writer. And I love how people would jump all over Tom King's defense in this, by the way, and like how Tom King's such a great writer and all that. But if you look, Tom King's writing on Batman took it from the #1 book consistently selling really, really well to about 60% of the sales it had and losing a lot of traction, which Batman still is trying to recover from with better writers right now. Well, anyway, former Batman writer Tom King launched an attack on former Superman actor Dean Cain following his appearance on Fox News in response to only a Doctrine's hit piece in the Time magazine against superheroes. And what that was is pretty much saying superheroes are problematic now. They're a problem. They're like police officers. They need to go away. They're too many white men, that kind of thing. But here's the thing, too. The main reason this got so much heat and so much traction is because comic book people, as well as the media in general, and, the Hollywood crowd and stuff, they are going to attack you no matter what you do if you have a conservative viewpoint. And that's really all it is. If you have a conservative viewpoint, all these comic book artists and writers are going to go all nut crap on you. They're going to lose it. I mean, these guys are nuttier than squirrel turds. We'll put it that way. And let's look at this. And the response of the writer is amazing here. And props to just some guy and a lot of other people, myself included, that jumped on this in Dean Cain's defense, because these supposedly elite people, they think so high of themselves they got a dog pile. Anyway, it says Cain, who played Superman and Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman, told Fox News, "I promise you, as Superman, I wouldn't today be allowed to say truth, justice, and the American way." Now, I want to repeat this in quotes. I want you to read this because this is very important. I promise you, as Superman, notice this, as Superman, I wouldn't today be allowed to say truth, justice, and the American way. And that's as Superman. And, this is an issue from the past in 1991. I have this issue, by the way. And Tom King took issue with this statement and attacked him on Twitter by showing him this page here. And it says, "Mother effer, I put a comic in a comic this year." Well, here's the thing. He didn't. That's the thing. Once again, I cannot stress enough here that he said, "I promise you, as Superman." Superman did not say that, truth, justice, American way here. I believe in the American way here. This is actually Sergeant Rock's thoughts, not Superman saying it. So Tom King goes at him. I tell you, if you're going to go hard in the paint and you go at somebody, you better do it frickin' right. This is out of his own book, and he can't even quote his own book right. Good job. Bravo, Tom King. Why don't you go kill Alfred again, you dick? Well, anyway, complete wrong. And I love it. All his Twitter mob comes after Dean Cain. Oh, Dean Cain was the worst Superman. He doesn't stand for truth, justice, and the American way. Complete crap. And then finally, other people like myself and others start sticking up for him and saying, "Hey, actually, Superman did not say it in that book." I love it. One of the responses I have from one guy that's so shallow-minded and a nitwit, and I won't give his name because I don't want to be rude to him, kept coming at me for that. "Oh, it was said in the book. That's enough." No. Dean Cain said as Superman he would not be able to say that. This was not Superman. That was the point. His own defense, Tom King, his own throwback in your face, blew up in his own face. He can't even do his own stuff right. So Dean Cain was 100% right there. So he shared the final page from Superman Up in the Sky #3, which was published in September 2019. That's the image here that we're talking about. The story had previously been published in Superman Giant #7 and 8. Superman Giant 7 was published on January 2019, with 8 being published in February 2019. Once again, this is Sergeant Rock's thoughts, not Superman saying it. So big swing and a miss. So Cain would respond, though, even with that, to that Tom King very nicely. Before he knew that, I actually realized it was Superman that didn't say it. He said, "Well, kudos to you. I stand corrected. I'm glad you did. What comic is that?" Also, the MF part of your tweet was not necessary at all, but if it makes you feel tough, that's okay. That's a pretty darn good response, considering a guy just came at you, said, called you an MFer, and was trying to dunk on you because you're a conservative. Once again, if this was a liberal saying anything like that, it would have got a pass. But because it wasn't, the comic book industry has to double down and jump on this guy to try to prove themselves right, and couldn't even do that right. Because, look at Tom King, couldn't do a lot right. So King would respond to this attack. He wrote here, the MF was an insult because you used your platform to discourage people from wearing masks, which will cost lives, the opposite of what Superman would do. I don't know if I'm tough, but I did fight for my country overseas and didn't just wear a cape in front of the camera. So once again, now he's got to try to use his I fought for the country as a defense, which you're not allowed to do if you're a conservative. If you do that, it's like, oh, so what? But if you're a liberal, evidently, you're allowed to do that. But also, but we're going to explore that a little bit further here in this article too. Dean Cain does more than just wear a Superman cape, okay? And to be honest, to be a conservative and do projects in Hollywood or in any television show and things as a conservative is like being in a battlefield, because anything you do is going to be looked at twice as hard and attacked twice as much by a liberal nutbag mob. And I'm not talking your regular, more centrist liberals or slightly liberal. These are crazy, fully blown left-wing nutbag liberals. And this was in response to this tweet. Spent most of my days on planes breathing my own CO2. I think I may be brain damaged. Now, just by reading that one, he's just joking around. For goodness sakes. Because, really, does he think he's brain damaged from that? Of course not. So, the outrage had to continue. So Cain responded, your insult was off base because I did not use my platform to discourage people from wearing masks, which he didn't. I made a joke. The fact that you can't see it, it's too bad. And that's another thing with liberals. If they say something off base and get busted, oh, just joking, you don't understand. But anybody else jokes, you are not allowed to do it if you're conservative. It's just not allowed. It's that unfair hypocrisy of the left. Throw every stone. They love to throw stones in glass houses. But I tell you, usually their cases are so flimsy, they fall apart. Appreciate your service. What a nice response. Appreciate your service. Using MF in your post was ridiculous and weak. I'm happy to tell you that to your face. And that's Dean Cain calling him out. And bravo to him, because Dean Cain probably whoop that crap out of Tom King. Come on, let's be honest here. And people love it and pick on it. And the tweets followed there. People are like, oh, calling him fat and everything else. He's not fat. Dean Cain's not fat. It's just he also called the worst Superman of all time. He doesn't stand up for Superman. The hate mob was huge at Dean Cain. And Dean Cain knew who's going to get that. That takes a lot of balls in today's society here. I'll probably get a lot of down votes and hate tweets or hate comments over this too. Cain had previously posted a photo of him wearing an American-themed mask on a plane. And that's what I was showing there. And that's probably what triggered him the most, to be honest. It's because he wore that, probably. Because, he's conservative, so he cannot be for America. These people consider conservatives as communists, even though, to be honest with them, the left is more close to communism than anything, since they tend to love, especially these far left-wings like Tom King and other ones, the Marxist doctrine. A number of comic book professionals would fawn over King's attack, once again showing how little brains these comic book professionals have, because remember, the gotcha moment from Tom King wasn't even right. It wasn't even Superman. To having to battle sanity against the obvious insanity is both inspiring and disheartening. No one ever told me the weak-minded would inherit the earth. Well, weak-minded right here, regional manager of Mark Brooks. Jody Hauser replying with oh, that was a hot take. Boom from Cully Hamner, which, full job, nut job there. Zach Thompson, Tom, you're the best among us. I got newsflash. If the best among you can't do a hot take shot back and get it right, the best among you is pretty freaking weak. That's all I can say. If you're going to call out somebody and be a dick to them, at least get it freaking right. It wasn't just comic book professionals. CBR and Screen Rant would write similar articles praising King. Of course they are, because CBR is a left-wing comic book shill company. That's all they are. Okay, anytime they can get the clicks, that's what they're going to go for. Screen Rant's garbage too, as well. These are garbage tier. So, ridiculous. CBR's headline scream, DC Comics, Tom King slams Dean Cain over Superman comments. Once again, if you're it's like his slam bounced off the rim and hit him in the face. It was so ridiculously wrong. I love people like, oh, it's the counts. It's the same. No, it was not. Superman did not say it. If you're going to at somebody, freaking get it right. Screen Rant reads, Dean Cain called out for being completely wrong about Superman. But once again, was he wrong? No, he was not wrong. We have yet to see it. Superman be able to say that. Him as Superman has not been able to say that. And even their comic book try to throw in his face wasn't even right. So go figure. This is the slant. Now, if you can't see it, these things are supposedly trying to be factual. No, they're not. I think that should say enough right there. Anything they can do to slam dunk on somebody that doesn't believe like they do, they will do no matter how wrong they are. However, in reality, King screaming at who look like fools because King lies multiple times in his back and forth with Cain, which is absolutely true. First, as a YouTuber, which I don't know, he might have been first. I don't know, just some guys on point usually with this stuff. Just some guy points out the page that King shows off does not show Superman saying those words, which is what I said too, which is the crux of Cain's original argument. Absolutely. In fact, it shows Sergeant Rock. I mentioned that too. Just some guy writes, you know, it'd really help your argument if the character who said, I believe in truth, justice, and the American way was Superman and not the soldier, which was Sergeant Rock, by the way. He added, I don't know what's sadder, that you can't follow the captions or you can't remember your own work. And I say, that's how you shoot somebody. If you're going to take a shot at somebody, you use the facts and you use the truth. Right there. That was a shot to the heart. Good bravo, just some guy. He took it right to him on that one. And of course, that's going to get ignored by the lefties, the Tom King conglomerate, if you will, because they don't understand. They don't have any intellectual capacity, evidently. Cain would also make it clear that Superman doesn't use his iconic catchphrase in the page either. So here we have this. It may be nitpicking, but is Superman the one saying truth, justice, the American way in these panels? And after Dean Cain was informed of that, negative. Absolutely, because he was not, because that's just the way it is. Now, here's why I want to get a little bit deeper, though, okay? Once again, remember, Tom King's service is what matters so much, right? Because Dean Cain is just a Nazi conservative. As for King posturing with the CIA service, Cain, as noted in the Fox News interview, that King was taking issue with is a reserve police officer in the St. Anthony Police Department. So I think that counts pretty highly. Being a police officer right now, or even a reserve, is a pretty dangerous spot to be in because everyone wants to attack him. So he's getting double down on his. He's a conservative and he's a reserve police officer. That's two shots against him. So just because he does those things, remember, he's the worst Superman. He doesn't represent Superman. He doesn't represent America. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. As mentioned above, Cain explains in the photo with the mask was a joke. What do you think, though, personally, of Tom King and his attack on Dean Cain and Dean Cain's response? I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Just silly, absolutely nuts that he would go so nutty over something that little. But once again, that's something that's reality nowadays. If you do anything that's slightly counter to the leftist perspective, you become enemy number one. No matter what you've done, any good you've done, they're going to find and nitpick the littlest things. And doesn't matter if they're wrong, they're going to stick to it, because not once did Tom King, or as far as I've seen either, any of the leftist people that attacked him said, oh, I apologize, he didn't actually say that in that book. No, they all completely ignored it. And if you called it out, they try to act stupid to it. Well, it was said in the book. That's close enough. No, it is not. It's like you're comparing horseshoes and hand grenades to, once again, what Dean Cain really said. So one last time, I want to mention it before I jump off, of what Dean Cain actually said to drive this home. Dean Cain did not, he said, I promise you, as Superman, I wouldn't today be allowed to say truth, justice, and American way. As Superman, not as Sergeant Rock. And he said, if he was playing Superman, he would not be allowed to say it today. Heck, he's not even on Supergirl anymore, probably because of his conservative views. And he knows, and trust me, people know that if you're a conservative and you're in Hollywood or any of these kind of particular avenues of publishing and things like that, you become enemy number one. So this is Dean Cain on fire trying to rescue America. All right, but that's my thoughts, not yours. I'd like to know what you have on this subject. What are your thoughts? Was Dean Cain unfairly attacked? Does Tom King owe him an apology? Does Tom King need a kick in the balls, for that matter? I think so, but that's me. All right, well, have a wonderful day, and until next time, keep it frugal. I want to make sure I take a moment to thank the people that helped make this video possible. I consider you producers of this channel and of this show. Without your support, these videos would not be possible. So I'd like to thank Rags, Comic Boom, Pop Size, The Frag Minion, Warren JB, Lynch Nut, David Osenwitz, sorry if I mispronounced your name, and a penny for your dimes. I also want to thank the people that like to remain anonymous and anybody else that has contributed to this channel in the past. Without your support, these videos would not be possible. If you find yourself in a position you can help and you want to see your name here too as a producer credit, go ahead and look down in the links below. There will be a Patreon, a subscribe star, as well as a one-time donation, and you can see your name up here too. Thank you.